Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Wednesday, July the 14th. Please say hello in the chat so I know who's here. And hit that like button to help out Troy's channel. And we will get off to the races here. And crude just hit its money management on its first trade of the morning. So the stop comes to 75.13. Looks like we just barely missed target one by just a tick. We have our first trade right here, 9 o'clock. Meanders about a bit, and it's just hit money management at 97. Looks like it got to 96. Our target is 95. So you'd probably want to look at how to protect that one a little bit. Maybe start following the 50 EMA with that one, at least that one position. And be prepared. Good morning, Ron. I looked at the setting you were talking about, and then I'm a little confused. So I'm going to try to get. It's going to be this evening probably, but I'll give you a call on that one. And your question from yesterday. Whoa, these are not supposed to be there. The YM is in a, no, it just stopped out of the long it was in. The Russell's in a pre-market short. Unleaded gas picked up the short, hit money management, and came back and stopped out for a one tick loss, it looks like. Major key level pushing their stop back to 51 when the entry was at 49. And we'll come back to that again on the pound Aussie this morning. So we actually have a one tick loss. on unleaded for the first trade. Pound Aussie. Trade today had the trade at A552, which is right about there. To me, I use the 50s as a major key level, so I would adjust that to 49 since we got within 2 pips of a major key level. And so I have not triggered into that trade where the trade today has. But I had basically exactly the same trade. It would have plotted without the key level at 52, because the low of the setup bar for me was 54.1. So that would have put the setup at 52. And a partial on crude at 75.11. So we'll look for another trade there. And markets are open. The Russell and the YM are both flat. Soybeans. This was its get in sync early. Actually, no, that wasn't. The get in sync was actually there. And yeah, it went through that without any pause. So our first trade would be here. And looks like that should be a long that has now hit targets 1 and 2. The stop now at 13.69 even. So this will be a one and done session on soybeans. Target 3 on soybeans. 70.5 for the stop. No other, and there's a long on unleaded, or on crude actually, at 16. I'd push that to 17 with the spike just ahead of that. Since it spiked up to 16 right at the entry, right just the bar before the entry set up, I'd push that to 17 and it would have triggered. Money management at 75.28 and the stop at 74.94. Short on the YM, long on the Russell. That's a tough one on the YM. I'd push the Russell up above the 20 SMA, and it's triggered in anyway. Volume entry at 904, and the SMA is at 900 even. Yeah, I think I would make the 5-tick adjustment to go to 899 on that one. And it's tested the balance line at least once already. I'd get in sync with it here at 899, and that's triggered in. And the crude trade has triggered in as well. So we're long on crude. And that's at 17 for the entry there. The Russell trade has hit target 2, so this will be a one and done on the Russell. Still just watching that at this point. I'm not trying to trade the Russell at all. The YM still back and forth trying to decide if it's going to go up or down. Five-tick adjustment is a big adjustment, but that's one I would tend to make. It doesn't want to get away from the 20 yet, but it also hasn't pushed back up through it but the one time. With any significance, it's been a tick or so above. Definitely in a consolidation. The Russell stop at 50.9 now. Crude trying to work its way up session open. Looks like the session open was 75.21. And the Russell still in the long. 50.9 for the stop. YM in the short. Money management at 870. Target at 866 for 33 ticks after the adjustment. We're going to have to work down through the 50 EMA now. We did get a close above the 20. So it looking like it might push its way up on the YM. Soybeans was one and done. The Russell at 51.9 now for the stop. Looking back at the pound Aussie, it's definitely been rejected at the 85.50 level. Not hard because it's not moving away too far. It's up about 12 pips. And it's still right at the 200 and the 200 EMA and 20 SMA. And the trade at this point is still valid on my chart. Although if we close above the balance line a second time now, that would cancel. And the Russell stopping out at 52.9. So that one is done. And we can put the micro ES up there. Nothing to do at this point. Actually, that's a 930 and it went too far. So nothing to do at this point for the 935 session or 835 session. Good morning, Miles, Al, Roger, Crypticon. Short on the YM, long on crude. Still flat on unleaded this morning. And I am flat at the moment on the pound Aussie. No overbought or oversold on the unleaded, so looking for something off of the moving averages, and that last move down, and the my short on the pound Aussie has canceled. So as I was saying, the last swing on unleaded went too far to pick up a yellow trade going back up. So nothing doing at the moment. I will be shutting the room down about between 10:15 and 10:20 to get ready for the crude oil inventory report. The long on my pound Aussie is filtered out by the squeeze zone. So I am not in sync with trade today this morning. And that's actually a difference in what I'm doing with a key level adjustment. And the YM heading down now, testing the 50 EMA and closing below it. Let's see if we can get down to money management and target. Crude also challenging its stop, and it looks like the 200 has moved up to where our stop is. I'd move the stop down to 90. Yeah, 92 is probably a good place. I'd give it a couple of ticks below the 200. Make it go through that. So the YM back up above the 50. And so let's see if 900 becomes resistance now. And crude stopping out, and even stopping out on the 92. We can take one more trade before 10 o'clock on crude. We have a partial money management and then a full loss. 23 tick loss with the adjustment on crude. Actually 25 with the adjustment to stop. And the YM still not able to get away from the 50 EMA meaningfully. Unleaded with an SMA trade. $3,114 hitting money management that quickly. That's too fast. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. That's 3 seconds. No way to get into that one. So that is a no trade on unleaded. And my pound Aussie chart has the possibility of, and the YM just hit money management. Stop comes to 887, and we're looking for, I believe it was 866. Yes. Did we get there? Nope, missed it by 2 and stopped out at 887 for a partial on the YM. So we can take another trade on the YM. All right, looks like I would have a potential entry at the moment at 40, 85.48 on the pound Aussie, assuming that that bar doesn't go any higher. It's gone a couple of ticks higher, but it's still going to round to 48. Nope, not anymore. All right, key level is still going to keep it. Oh, yep, still going to be at 49. And it looks like it's going to close up. And we have a new short on the YM. And we have the potential for a long on crude. The new short on the YM. Not a particularly large trade, just 25 to target 1. I would probably go ahead to target 2 on this one. Also, potential short. Actually, yeah. We have until the close of this bar for that short to trigger in. Because 9 o'clock is the end of this mini session on the micro catapult ES, or micro ES in this case. And we're 1 minute away from the end of our 45 seconds. 30 seconds. At this point, I'm making the executive decision that I'm not going to take another trade at this point, with the crude oil inventory report coming up in half an hour. And our mini session ending in 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5. And mini session just ended and we did not get a trade. So there, we didn't quite get. Yep, we were 5 ticks away. Not quite within. And the YM trade stopped out for a 1 tick break even and now has a long. And it looks like we did trigger into the short in time. Hit target 1 on the nose. And stopped out for and stopped out at 76.50 for 1 tick. So quick little trade right at the end of our session for the micro ES. And we did get a new setup on the pound Aussie at 54 this time. So we're flat on we got 2 money management trades on the YM, so we are flat there. So the YM, the Russell, Micro ES, crude, all finished. We did pick up a short that hit target 2 and trailed down slightly beyond target 3 on unleaded to get us POQ there finally. Soybeans was POQ with a 1 and done this morning. And the only thing we're still watching, or at least I'm still looking for a trade on, is the pound Aussie. Until the crude oil inventory report. So now is a good time for questions. All of our trade plans are done except for the pound Aussie on my charts anyway. On Thursday, or on Wednesdays it's at 10:30 Eastern. So we wait 2 minutes and start trading at 10:32. When it moves to Thursday with a Monday holiday, it doesn't come out until 11 a.m. because natural gas comes out at 10:30 on Thursday. Natural gas inventory. And another canceled trade on the pound Aussie. Each trade plan has a specific start time, Crypticon. Our pound Aussie start time is 8:30 a.m. Eastern. The 8-tick crude has many sessions at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and 1 p.m. all Eastern time. The first 3 are 1 hour long, and the 1 p.m. session is an hour and a half because that tends to be a little slower. But we do not trade the particular mini session where the crude oil inventory would fall. Or well, in the case of Thursday, we trade the crude oil inventory starting at 11:02 rather than the 11 a.m. session. But on Wednesdays, we don't trade the 10 a.m. session because of the 10:30 a.m. crude report. The Russell and the YM both start at market open, which for their exchange times, that's 8:30 a.m. Market's opening at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. And of course, the Micro ES has several mini session start times as well. 8:35 Central, 9:30 Central, 2 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. Central. Yes, I have been trading crude this morning and the pound Aussie. Al asking if I take live trades, and I know Troy takes some live trades as well, especially crude oil inventory report in particular. I know. Well, one of the reasons that I trade crude is because it's usually done or usually close to it by the time the room starts. Because once the room starts, it is difficult to try to keep an eye on the chart that I'm trading as well as all the other things going on. That long trade on crude filtered by the crossover filter. And the YM long filtered by the squeeze zone. All right, since we're finished everything but the pound Aussie, and I'm still flat on the pound Aussie. Oh, it definitely takes a lot of work on the focus. That's one of the reasons I tend to trade the charts that I do. I'll trade the pound Aussie, which that trade plan starts at 8:30. Crude starts at 9, and if I trade anything else right now, it's the YM starting at 8:30. But when I'm running the room, 8:30 Central. When I'm running the room, I very seldom trade the YM. There's too much going on at market open when I'm running the room. All right, it's 10:15. So since everything is complete except the pound Aussie, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for this one and get ready to start things up for the crude oil inventory report. I'll be back on, should be back on about 10:25. We will see you in a few minutes.